Why do I always get nervous when it's time to get started? Like, I've never started this
I
before.
know. How many have we done? 18?
This is number 18. Welcome back to the 18th episode of Simple Tech Media. And I feel like for us not even being in this for a full year yet and having both full-time jobs outside of this, I
And
think that's
transitions?
amazing. At number
Yeah,
18.
that's
Exciting.
awesome.
So, off camera, we were just spending some time reminding ourselves how thankful we are for the equipment that we use each week and seeing the difference in a built in webcam for a laptop and an external camera for doing this. And we'll just say we are very thankful for what we've been provided with to be
Oh,
able to to work with.
yes.
Nikki was just saying that
If
if we didn't get it
y'all.
fixed, we were going to have a segment of tech tips from the basement. It was looking pretty
Yeah.
scary.
Because it was so dark in here.
You
But
know,
let me
that
just
may
tell
be a
y'all,
segment people would like. I don't know.
tech talks from the basement. That sounds so scary. And neither one of us even has a basement, but I can make it dark in here, dark and creepy. Just go back to the
Yeah.
730 pixels or 780 pixels. That is
Yeah,
scary.
it was very grainy. It was looking very much like one of those news segments where they have somebody in the shadows and I told her we could change her voice and make it a lot deeper. And then she could tell us some really scary story about how the tech just failed at the most inopportune time for her. And it would be
Horrible.
frightening. We would have to put a disclaimer on the video so
Must
that
be
people wouldn't
18
be too
plus.
scared. Right. So they wouldn't be too scared for what they would have seen.
Right.
Um, it was just
But
funny.
listen, if that doesn't show you, I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see the bad quality ones, but if
Oh,
that doesn't
I
show
will make
you
sure we have a clip out there somewhere.
the change, like just the drastic upgrade that technology has gotten. Wow, it's
And
crazy.
the camera that she was using was just from 2019, the other one. That
Yeah.
was so grainy.
Yeah, and
It's insane.
what is our phone? What do we have? What year is
It's a
that?
Pixel. So it was the new one last year.
Okay, okay. So I
Yeah.
mean, that is not that big of a difference. But the quality, wild.
So Nikki and I were just saying, what are we going to talk about? And I do have a few things on deck that I wanted to talk about with her. And one of the ones I have been asked to follow through with, and I said, you know what? I can't do this unless I have Nikki on board. And I haven't even mentioned it to her because I wanted to talk to her about it here on camera. And let's see what her reaction is and her response. And boys, my nephews asked for this specifically.
Oh,
I told you it's up to Nikki. So if she says yes, we have it. If not, Auntie tried. I tried.
oh my goodness.
So last week, I didn't tell you, but last Tuesday, right as I was getting logged in to record last week, my mom sent me a text and said, "Hey, can you hop on? Do you have time for a phone call?" And my oldest nephew's computer wasn't working for his
Mm,
school. So it's a school issued computer.
mhm.
And I said, "Yeah, I have a couple minutes." So I did a quick FaceTime call and I said, "Is it a Chromebook?" Because that's usually what they'll have. And they said yes. And it just has a black screen. And then it kept going to like it would flash enough to where you knew it was trying to do something, but it just wasn't
Yeah.
working. Anyway, so we went through all of the, try, is it plugged in? Did you turn it off? Did you try to restart it? Yada, yada, yada. It was obviously having a big issue. And I just said, you need to take it back to school and have them look at it. But in that, I said, well, I have to go because I'm about to record an episode with Nikki. And they said, Auntie, will you please do a live podcast episode where we're
Oh.
live as it's playing? And I said, I don't know. I'll have to talk to Nikki about that. So Nikki, I'm going to toss this over to you and I'm going to just throw this out here. We are coming up on our 1 year anniversary of
Mm-hmm.
our very first episode of Simple Tech Media Podcast. And I feel like
Yes.
it's going very well. And I feel like while we're not, that one that everybody is searching for, I feel like the people who have stumbled upon us I feel like we're making an impact so
Yeah.
far. And it may be just a few at a time, but I feel like it's going well. And so I'm just going to throw this out there. Big anniversary celebration, live
Mhm.
podcast with Nikki and Tina coming soon to YouTube in February 2025. What do
I was
you
gonna
think?
say, wasn't it February when we
Yes.
started?
Yes.
Oh, wow,
What do
that's
you
awesome.
think? Would you be on board?
Yeah, February is actually the slowest month where I work. Out of all the months, there's usually something every single
Right.
like day of the week, but February is open. So
Okay.
that's fantastic. It's just like meant to be. And I'm
Okay.
still trying to get your little nephews to like me because
Right.
I'm the other
The
Nikki.
other Nikki. Yes.
Yes.
So, you hear that, boys. She says okay. So now we just have to make sure that we have people who will join us because that's what makes it fun. So we're gonna throw
Mhm.
this out there. You're hearing it here first. This is the first time we're talking
Yes.
about this. But we will do a live episode. We'll stream it live. We'll also record it so that we can, post it. But if you're willing to join us on that day, we'll come up with the details. Give us a little comment and say, I'll join. I'll be there. I'll be there for the live and
Yeah.
we'll plan something fun.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, that's so fun. We
I
get to
think
do we get to like answer viewer questions?
Well, we have to have viewers in order to have that. So
Oh
that's
my
where
gosh,
we pass
viewers.
off. This is the homework for our viewers.
Come
We would have to
on.
have viewers to join us. But yeah, we
Oh,
could do that. We can answer their questions. Maybe
perfect.
we can come up with some other fun things to do during that time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we should start planning.
we got some time. February 2025.
February, February 2025. So just a
Oh
few
my
months.
gosh. Is it
We will
already
do that.
2025? Where has my life gone? I feel like I was just born yesterday and it's already 2025.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so that'll be fun.
Awesome.
All right, so now we have something to start working on, start planning for that, and we need an audience. So if you are following us, share us with your friends. If you are not following us yet, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe and follow us. I think that would be great.
I promise my camera quality will be good on that day. I swear.
we may have to practice first, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I will have everything charged and ready to. I will be ready on that day.
yeah, exactly. So with this episode this week, I was thinking, we both started new jobs, we have new things going on. I put out I did a video this week. It's actually done pretty okay. It was one where I showed how to do a delayed text with an
Mhm.
iPhone, which is such a life-changing option for me. I do plan on going through and doing one for those of you who don't know that you can set an automation because that's what I had always done in the past. But maybe you guys don't know that. So I use the delayed text feature all the time, but the way that it's set up right now, you're just setting up one to be delayed for later, but it's
Mhm.
not something that's recurring. And for example, for my new job, for those who don't know, I'm an executive assistant and I work from home, which is fantastic. I am loving what I do, but there are some reminders that I just need to be recurring.
Yeah.
Every day at this time, I need to have a reminder for either myself or for somebody else that I'm working with who I'm not in the same office to be able to say, hey, don't forget to do whatever. It just is automated. And I go in and do that on my phone and it's just automated. So it's just this reminder that goes through. So my plan is to have a video up about that here very, very soon. And then we'll see some others. If there's something else you guys are looking to know about, please reach out and let us know. We get some inspiration whenever you all ask us questions, and that does help. I did have somebody, though, ask me for a specific
Mhm.
video this week, Nikki. They were asking me if I could make a video showing for somebody who doesn't have any kind of basis in computer training in any way, shape, or form, no design training in any way, shape, or form, but they need to be able to put together a presentation. What
Yeah.
are the basics that you need to know for presentations. And in the past,
Yeah.
I've said that we will be putting out, simple videos, but sometimes we'll strip it down to even the simplest of simple tech. And that's what
Yeah.
this video will be. So I'm going to work on that this week. I've been asked if I can make it this week, and that should be posted sometime by this weekend. And yeah, so
Is there a specific application that we're looking at, or just like in general, like even the easiest application to use?
I was asked specifically for this one for it to be PowerPoint
Okay.
because the people who will be using this do have access to PowerPoint.
Got
But
it.
I was also thinking that I might take that same information and do it in a couple of different ways to show this is
Right.
there are basic principles regardless of what software you're using.
Platform. Mm-hmm.
And then I think even from there to say, okay, you're in PowerPoint. This is what I would focus on now. Don't worry about these other things. This is what I would focus on, or Keynote. This
Right.
is what I would focus on. This is what I would not focus on. Somebody asked me in a class the other day about using Canva for presentations. I don't know if you've done that or not. I know that I like to go in there and start building them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to love the presentation feature in Canva. The drawback for me on this, and this is my preference just across the board, is to try to stay away from things that are web based,
Yeah.
especially when you're in a high stressful situation where all the eyes are on you. You're in a time sensitive situation. I personally try to stay away from things that are web based. Now, I do know that there's an app that you can download on your desktop for Canva. And so I don't know if maybe that would be a little bit more secure for,
Right.
running a presentation. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't used it enough to have an opinion about that. But
Right.
on my end, my preference is to actually have the presentation downloaded where I have the file ready to go and I'm not relying on the internet. So that would be my thing there. So for somebody starting out, I definitely would not suggest using Canva for your first presentation if that's something that you've never done. Even though I think it's a great resource to be able to go
Yeah.
get your stuff started. So that's my own opinion, and everybody has their own opinions and preferences when it comes to a lot of things, and especially with technology and putting together a presentation. And I see pros and cons to all of the different presentation softwares that are out there. But anyway,
Yeah.
this one will be stripped down to the most basic of principles. So I thought that would
Perfect.
be a pretty fun one to do. And
That's
it won't
great.
be for
Yeah.
everybody though. So some people are going to watch that and say, this is basic, but everybody has to start somewhere. So that's what we're going to
Right.
do for that. So be watching for that one to come out, and that should be there.
Perfect. That's exciting.
Nikki said, Tina, I have been swamped this week and I don't really have a whole lot to include in the conversation, which is
Yes.
fine. Things like that happen. And I was thinking earlier, what can we talk about with this episode? I knew that we were recording this evening. And I thought that I would just take a few minutes and kind of talk through the process of what I do each morning as now a virtual assistant, a virtual executive assistant who works from home, which is what the virtual means. So, um, hello, Tina. What is my process? I heard somebody talking the other day, and they asked somebody who was working from home, like, "What is your schedule? What do you do?" And this person's reply was, "Well, I don't really have a schedule. I just kind of, basically, I like go with the wind. Whatever is happening is happening." Well, I personally feel like there may be moments of that if you're going to work in a position where you're at home. I think that's one of the appeals of being able to do something like that, is that not every day is exactly the same.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is something for having some structure. And I just feel like, especially when you're trying to get into a groove and you're really trying to make sure that you're not skipping over processes that, if I miss this, oh no, I missed this, and now my whole day is thrown off, or I find out in 2 weeks or a month or whatever, I forgot that one step and now I'm having to go back and backtrack. I just personally find that for me, I work best if I have steps that I follow and I do them. I'm not so rigid that if I get off course a little bit that I just completely fall apart. I
Yeah.
don't want to say that, but there are things that I like to do to just kind of get myself going in the morning. Just like, you wake up and maybe the first thing that you do is go jump in the shower, then you brush your teeth, or maybe you prefer to brush your teeth and then go jump in the shower or whatever. there's no right or wrong with that. It's just a matter of order, and it's whatever makes sense for you and is comfortable for you. So when I get up in the morning, I technically am not supposed to, or not required, or whatever. I don't need to start working until about 9 o'clock. So I literally have a 9 to 5 job. We were kind of joking about the 9 to 5, the song and everything
Mm-hmm.
a couple weeks ago, but that's literally what my hours are supposed to be. But I have the freedom to work outside of those hours if needed. And that's great. I'm coming though from a position where I'm used to being up and working really early in the morning. So for me, 9 o'clock is like, it's like a vacation. I
Right.
don't really know what to do with myself with that. And so usually I get up and then, get ready for the day. I make some coffee. Those of you who knew me back in the day, you're going to be shocked that I just made that statement.
Crazy.
I only
Crazy.
recently in the last few years started drinking coffee, and I don't like how hot. I just like, there's one way I like it. I'm not going to get into all that here, but and I've never found that I can buy it and like it any more than what I make at home. So,
Hey,
that
that's
saves me
good.
some money too.
I wish I did
Anyway,
that.
so I get up and then I come in and I log in, and the first thing that I do is I like to use Google Chrome for my browser, and I prefer that on my PC desktop, which is what I'm sitting at right now. And I also prefer that for my MacBook. I've gotten away with gotten I've gotten away from using Safari, and I just find that I like Google. And one of the things I like about it is that you can set a different profile, and you can
Mm-hmm.
have different passwords and things set for each profile. And so I have a profile for my personal my teaching job, and then it has some personal stuff on there, personal, like, just websites that I like to go look at, like if I'm planning a trip or whatever, that has my passwords for like my flight logins and those types of things if I'm planning, a getaway or whatever. So that profile I don't need on the days that I'm doing my other job, so I can ignore that one. And then I have a profile for Simple Tech, and that one has all of our passwords saved for what we do for all of our different accounts and things. It has a link to Riverside, which is what I'm using right now to record. It has some other things. And I don't need that one at that point. So I don't have to worry about my life, my teaching life, crossing with my Simple Tech life, crossing with my virtual assistant life, crossing with my personal life. And so I can have all of that organized. And I really like that. So I go into the profile that is set up for my virtual assistant position. And that's where I'm logged in for all of the things that I need. And so I go in first and I open up my boss's email and I just go clean it out because that's one of my tasks to do. So, first thing in the morning, that's one of the first things that I do. So, usually I'm sipping my coffee and I will go through and clear that out and kind of get a plan for what we're going to do for the day. And then I also like to clock in around this time. So I get to keep track of my hours. And I found a website that I like to use. There's also an app for it. But again, I'm on a desktop computer. So for me, I just pull up the website right there and I have it all bookmarked and everything. And I use Clockify. I really like that. So I go in and I click it. It's free for me to use, but it keeps track of all my time. And I just do a quick note in there as to what I'm working on. And so I have my boss's email tab open. My next one is usually Clockify, and I'll minimize that one because it just makes sense in my brain. I don't need to see it all throughout the day. I just know that it's down there and it's on. And then I will pull up the calendar, the shared calendar for everybody. And so that's always my second tab. So my first tab is always the email, second tab is always the calendar, and then I go on from there. And then, my third one, and I won't go through all of the things that I open up because, that's not everybody's need to know. But, I go through, and first thing in the morning is I get myself set up to have the different windows open that I need. And then eventually, I open up my own email and all those things. And for me, that just really works so that if they're always in the same place on my screen, I always know where I'm going when I'm in a quick moment of, let me get that information for you. I have it right there, which has been so helpful. And I like that. And then, my desk is organized that way as well, where I always have my phone here and I always have my notebook. I always have a notebook right here. I'm right-handed, so it's on my right side so I can write things down as I'm going through it. And for me, that's just been so helpful to have those processes in place, those things that I can control so that when my day gets crazy, the rest of the day isn't frantic because I'm unprepared. It's just the things that come up. So anyway, that's what I do whenever I get started. And then at the end of the day, I kind of go backwards and close everything out. And the last thing I do will clean up the email for my boss and then, close that out. And then that pops up um, my window that's down there with my time. And, you know, I pull that one up throughout the day so that I can clock in and out, if I take a lunch break or whatever. But that's kind of my process for that. So that's been helpful for me. I don't know that that will help anybody else, but I just think that anytime you can get yourself organized and get a process together, it just really helps the whole day go smoother. So
It helps me. If it was helpful for anyone else, it helps me.
good.
I need to be motivated like that. You're so good. You should see my life.
Oh no, Nikki's not organized. Do I need to come visit?
You truly would just like be so ashamed at like the 800 tabs that I have open constantly.
Oh, Nikki.
I know it's bad. I do have my profiles though. But
I
then
love the
like
profiles.
I get confused as to which profile I'm on. There was a time where I was very confused at what profile I was on, and the website kept getting blocked because I didn't have like access to it because I was on like a student account
Right. Mm-hmm.
for like their Chromebooks. So I was like mocking a student, and I'm like, why can I not go to this stupid website? I just have to check something. It was like the platform that I used to like look at their browsing history. Like I
Mm-hmm.
needed to check it. And I'm like, why do I not have access to it? And then I finally look at the profile and it's like
Right.
student. And I'm like, okay. Let me
you
just
know,
click let me click Nikki right there.
live and learn. The thing I
Oops.
like about having all the different profiles is that then you don't have to authenticate all the time, every time you're switching back and forth between
That is true.
the ones. And it just saves so much time to not have
Yes,
to
that is
authenticate.
true. And
And
I
then,
love having my different passwords for what I
mhm.
use when I use them.
Right,
So
right,
at work, I'm not going to use my personal stuff, but when I get home, it's all like it's all still there. All of
right.
my passwords, my browsing, and your browsing history is completely separate too.
Yeah,
That I didn't realize. I just thought
yeah.
everything's on Google,
Mm-mm.
but I was trying to find a recipe and I couldn't find it because I was on my work
mm-hmm.
profile because I just thought browsing history was the
Mm-hmm.
same. And then I
Mm-mm.
went to the browsing history on my account and Pinterest right there. There was
Yeah.
my recipe for my pumpkin snickerdoodle cookies.
Ooh. So I'm gonna come over. She's gonna make pumpkin snickerdoodle cookies, and I'm gonna get her organized while she,
See,
brings it
I
over. So
I will pay, maybe not in money, but in bribes.
got it, got it, got it. So another thing that I did this week, and I thought I just changed my whole life with this. And I'm not going to say it's a hack because probably, again, I'm probably the only one who's going to care about this because I am such a nerd. I have so many texts going on, so many text threads going on my phone with my new job with all the different people, and everybody works from a different place. And so there are a lot of things that come through and it's like, hey, when you get time, can you do this? Can you add this to my to-do list? Can you set a reminder for this? Can you, whatever. And so some of these are things that I really need to take care of myself. Some of these are things that I need to just remind somebody else to take care of at another time. Some of them are, fill in the blank. There are so many different scenarios. And with the updates to the iPhone, I mean, you can do more than just a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a heart these days. You can add all these different emojis, but
Yeah.
really, do I need to go in and have like a smiley face emoji and a sad face emoji and like what do these all mean eventually? And even a thumbs up emoji. Does that just mean, "Hey, yeah, I see this," and then I'm going to forget about it because I haven't actually done anything with it or, whatever. And I thought, Tina, you have to get yourself into a system where you can keep up with, okay, I saw it and I acknowledge that I saw it, but did I actually follow through with it? Because after time passes, I mean, you yourself will forget, did I do what I needed to do for this? So, one of the things that you can do is you can use stickers now to respond to a text thread. So just like a response, like a thumbs up to that actual message, you can add a sticker. And I was like, I want to make my own sticker. So I made a sticker that says complete or completed. And then I added that to it. So when I was asked to do something, whatever it was, hey, can you send this out or send this email or whatever it was? And I replied back with a sticker instead of just a thumbs up or a heart. And it actually says at the bottom, there's this little sticker that comes up and it just says completed in red because that's what I made my sticker. And it is
Stop it.
life changing. So then I said, okay,
No.
so I need one that says like added to do,
Yeah.
set a reminder, all of those things. And so I'm in the process of making those. The one that I made initially was just a graphic that said completed and it has a stamp effect to it. So it looks like it's a stamp.
Uh-huh.
So I use that to make the sticker from Canva on my iPhone. And that one worked great. But when I did the one and it looks exactly like that one and it says to do or something reminder, I think reminder to do is one of those two. It was a green one. And so I thought, well, I'll do it with this one. It's not saving it the right way. It's only saving part of it and not all of it. So it's like the middle part of the word instead of the whole word. So I was
Interesting.
getting annoyed with that the other day. It wasn't actually saving it like a sticker. It just kept telling me that wasn't an option. Whatever. So I need to figure it out. But yes, I will be sending that from now on. So anything that I get that I need to actually follow through with, I will be either adding completed or added to do or set a reminder or need to follow up or something like that. And this will be standard practice for me from now
That is
on. And I
awesome.
love it. So I need to make a video about that. But
Yeah.
I just stumbled upon it the other day. I was like, okay, figure something out. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
That is awesome. Do you have your phone on you? Can you send me
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
That is the coolest thing. Listen,
Yep.
I need that. I'm taking
Okay.
this podcast very personally. I need everything that you're discussing.
Send me a text and I'll reply to it for you. Ask me to
Organization.
do something.
Hey, can you show me how to make stickers?
Okay, so then I'm gonna
This is the
add
coolest thing.
sticker.
Stop it.
Yeah, isn't that so cool? It just says
Stop
completed.
it right now. I
So does
was
it come
gonna.
through that way on yours? Because I haven't seen the
Yes.
other side. I never even told the other people what I was doing. This is literally just for my own sanity.
Yeah, it comes through.
Yeah.
I mean, I can show my phone. Do you mind?
Mm-mm.
Oh my
Oh
gosh,
yeah.
look at the snot from my dog. Delete.
She's blaming her dog. That poor
Yeah.
puppy. Poor Ollie.
Poor Ollie. Oh my gosh, do you see that? Ugh. That's hideous. Do you see
Yeah.
the completed?
Yeah. Says completed.
Right at the bottom? That's the coolest thing ever. I was gonna try. Oh, here. I know what to do. I got you. Let's just. There we go. So that way my whole text thread isn't showing. Ready? Boom.
Wow.
Completed. Right. Oh,
Completed.
can you see my tape? Look at the bottom. I had. Listen, remember last week how my thing kept falling? I literally. See, when you flip it, everything that you do gets exposed.
Right.
So I literally have my like tape holding everything straight so it doesn't fall like it did last.
It's okay, Nikki.
Wow.
It's okay.
If anyone was wondering, I am so redneck over here.
Poor Nikki. She's just.
Literally using athletic tape. It's not even real tape, it's athletic tape.
We're going to keep this nice and short this week. And I'm going to end it with the tech tip of the week. And that is anytime you can choose to do something the same way each time, not in a rigid way where you're too afraid to change and so you fall apart because something
Mhm.
crazy happens. But if you can find a process where you, even if it's just you having your windows open in the same order each time, try that out so that you're not frantically clicking on all the windows over and over and over again, trying to figure out which screen you want to be on. Do open them up in the same order each morning and see if that helps you, and then close them out at the end of the day. And then one of the other things that I always I learned when I worked at a car dealership of all places, we had to have our desk cleaned off at the end of the day because they had had a fire at one point, and so it was very strict. You could not have papers out on your desk or anything at the end of the day. And so I got in the habit of just gathering everything up and setting it, in a drawer or whatever. And then in the morning, I'd come take it back out. And I think that's where that comes from for me is like at the end of the day, okay, I close it all out. And then now I start fresh again in the morning. And for me, that's the windows. I don't always clear all the paperwork off of my desk, but I don't have a lot of paperwork that I'm dealing with. So that's not really the issue for me. But, tech tip. So if you need a little bit of organization, I would say to start there. That'd be my tip of the week. Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yes, Miss Nikki, what is your comment here? She's about to tell me.
that was so good and so fantastic. But please tell me why, when you said that, I was thinking actual windows to the outside. Like, I'm like, why is she telling them to open them up the
Open all your
same
windows.
way every? And I'm like, Tina, what are you telling these people? And then I realized you're talking about technology because this is a technology podcast. Like, what?
Um, Join us next week for desktop terms, the simplest of simple tech, with
And
teacher
I
Tina
will be
and
teaching.
student Nikki.
I promise I will be put together more next week.
It's been a week.
Not. Yes.
As a side note, I
Anyways.
will say that we really do go and open up the windows too in the morning. I wasn't mentioning that part, but yes, there are certain blinds and certain windows, and I do like the shades to be a certain length. So,
That's
you know,
hilarious.
those
See,
are
I'm just
things to
reading
like
your
get the house
mind.
awake in the morning, yeah, to
That
get it
is
all
so
going.
funny. All right.
So,
Open your windows.
literally and figuratively, and also literally, because there are more than one type of window. So.